Hello everybody and welcome in. How we all doing? It's your boy GT45 here, and we went ahead and started our stream without being properly prepared here on every aspect. That's what happens when you don't stream very often anymore, I guess, hey? So, hold on, let us change it. Alright, welcome in everybody. We're here on behalf of the Gran Turismo racing community today. And we're here with round 3 of our Redbull Junior series, and if we all remember correctly, this is our dual race format series here with some added weight ballast after race number 1. So we'll have a qualifying to lead into race number 1, which will be a 30-minute sprint race with a mandatory pit stop, but not a mandatory tire change, just a pit stop that is required. And then that leads us into a second race after that race. So the top 6 will be adding weight to their cars. It will be reverse grid based on finishing order on race number 1. And race number 2 will go underway a few minutes after race number 1 has finished. So it should be an interesting race here tonight. We got a big full lobby full of Redbull Junior racing cars here again, like we have all season long here so far. Just bear with here, I'm just making a couple of changes on the stream while we're talking. If you can't tell by the sheer concentration in my lack of voice for a second. There we go. Alright, there we go. Our beautiful racetrack here, Red Bull Ring. I mean, not much to know about this racetrack. It's just got a couple handfuls of corners on it. It's 10 left to right hand corners. It's a 2.68 mile racetrack. It's a tarmac road surface. It is a real world circuit, meaning that they do race on it in real life every year. It has an elevation change of approximately 214 feet. It's all about carrying speed around the technical sectors here at Red Bull Ring. The only real hard braking zone here at the racetrack really is essentially turn number 3, which is quite an aggressive radius hairpin. It's a 90, but it looks like a much more aggressive 90, so it can definitely catch the drivers out. I'm just making sure everything's working here. We do have sound. Okay, everything is moving and grooving. So it's going to be a little bit interesting in these Red Bull Juniors. Now, the Red Bull Juniors really heavily rely on their aerodynamic downforce in order to maintain grip and, of course, suction to the road surface, but also to maintain speed around the corners. So these cars are very, very specifically designed to be very, very fast. They're very lightweight cars with a fair amount of horsepower in them, 2,000 cc's to be exact. And they move pretty good. They are right in between the pace of a Group 3 and a Group 4 car essentially here in Gran Turismo 7. So, I mean, they hit 150 miles an hour, these cars, at the top end, if not a little bit quicker. We won't really see their top end too much here at Red Bull Ring. We may see it on the start-finish line straight. Other than that, maybe heading into turn number 3 with the draft, I suppose. But we're going to see some qualifying to start things off here. And I believe that's going to be a 5-lap qualifying, if my memory serves me correctly. Don't quote me on that. That could be a little off. Alright, so we're just checking on the streams, making sure everything is working. It looks like everything is working. Kilty coming in with the like and the share on Facebook. Let's go, just in for a quick like and share, heading to work, or just left work and heading home. Have a safe travel, my dude. Appreciate the reactions on the Facebook. Welcome in on the GTRC YouTube channel and the GT45 Gaming Facebook and YouTube channels as well. We got our great GTRC race here for everybody today, and then we'll have a special little interesting tidbit for everybody tomorrow evening at, I believe it starts at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Have to verify that. So we'll have a little extra content starting to come back to the page here now, starting again in next week, and we got some stuff starting to get ready to drop for a drop-in series throughout the week here as well at GT45. Things are happening, moving here finally behind the scenes. We took a little break. We were getting a little tired. We were getting a little burnt out, and just needed some time to figure out what the direction of the page is moving forward for the next few months, and that means a little less commentary for the viewers watching at home, but it's going to be more content and more me on camera content again, you know, chilling like we used to back in the old days. We're taking a little step back, in a sense, and we're going to kind of do things that I want to do right now, like get back on track and start racing again, stuff like that. But today it's all about these Redbull Juniors, and we're just getting a lobby reset here right now, which means we're just about underway for our qualifying session here to start race number 1. And I'm just going to go verify the pit stop requirement, because I feel like I may have been wrong on the pit stop requirement. Yes, so it is a mandatory stop, but it's not a mandatory pit, which is what I suspected. Alright, so qualifying is just getting underway. We're just getting everything set up for everybody before we do the switch. And there we go. Off to the big screen so we can see all the action. Alright, so the first thing to note is we do have the random weather model in play here today at Red Bull Ring, which means rain is definitely a potential here today. So with there only being a medium tire required mandate here in the series, unless it rains probably for the whole duration of the race, I would imagine that the racers are still going to need to be required to use those medium tires at some point in the race. The mandate on that is 5 laps, I believe. That could be just a GT3 series specific, but it might have also overlaid into our Red Bull series here as well. But it's going to be interesting to see here what the weather does, because right now it's quite cloudy here at Red Bull Ring. So we're out with Doug Bro. He's our first out on track here this weekend to start round number 3 of our Red Bull Juniors. And I'm not sure exactly where the standings are sitting here. I'll have to bring them up in a little bit. Maybe in between the races we'll talk about where the standings were here. But we know that Doug is definitely a contender up there right now. And we're just going to stick with Doug here because this is just our out lap, and then we'll follow with Doug through the first flying qualifying lap, and then we'll try to circulate in through the field as they come across start-finish line on the first hot lap, and then we'll just kind of roll through the field as we roll through the field like we normally would here. But right now it's Doug leading the pack out, so qualifying is now underway officially here as they have gotten their warm-up lap in. This lap now will count. You can see there's a big old train of juniors up in behind Doug here. And you can see how aggressive turn 3 is there as we just seen Doug come through there. And I mean, hard on the brakes into the braking zone there, having to come from top speed all the way down to a manageable speed of about 50 miles an hour to make that corner. The rest of the corners here around the racetrack are really about management, pace management, trying to maintain speed around the corner so you can get speed out of the apex, or out of the exit, and continue on to the next corner. This is a very mid to high speed sector here. If you can get it just right, you just want to clip that apex a little bit there. Doug just missing it slightly, but doesn't seem to cost him any time there. And then a wide entry and looking for a late apex here, so you can try to straighten this S out as much as possible and get as much speed as you can coming up the hill through the penalty serving zone here. And then again, just a mid-speed sector here to finish off the racetrack, turns 9 and 10 here. And let's see what kind of time Doug has here as he comes across the start-finish line and be there in just in a heartbeat. 1:31.996. Supra right in behind there is going to stay in second. Hair Razor's going to stay in third. Tron Kobe's going to come around. He's going to stay in fourth. 1010's going to take pole position away as he comes through the line here. We got Type R coming through next. He's going to move up into fifth. Happy Pappy's going to move up into second place. We got Dark Cobra, Sheriff Doofy, and TDC Gaming up next. Cobra comes through, goes up into seventh. Sheriff Doofy doesn't make any change in position. We got Bar 27 out next. Where's TDC at? Oh, TDC stayed in ninth. Mystery driver on the racetrack here. Sheriff having a rough quality here, and I'm not sure who this driver is, but he's definitely not registered because there is not the required decaling on his car. So our lobby host will take care of that before the race starts, obviously here. Hopefully it doesn't interfere with the qualifying session. Doug Burrow here in third place. And PD, if you're listening by chance, or somebody that knows somebody in PD is listening, password lobbies, please. So this little issue we have here stops happening. That'd be great. 1010 improving his pole position time there, 1:31.586. So a little slipstream help there coming from the guys, and it looks like it's only going to be a couple of hot laps here. Okay. I suspect we'd see 4 or 5 attempts here, but it looks like it's just 2 hot laps here today. TTC sitting in 4th place currently. Dark Cobra doesn't look like he's going to have the improvement here. Camera guy is very confused apparently. So on board with Bar 27 here as he comes around. Big happy birthday to this racer. Birthday boy on track. Going to be looking for a birthday podium here today. Friend of a friend. Okay. Got it under control here. 35.3 there, so nice little improvement there for Bar, but it's not enough to move him up the list here. Got a Sheriff coming around here and doesn't have a recorded time here, so that was some rough qualifying there for Sheriff. And race control is just dealing with the extra driver in the lobby here currently around the racetrack at the moment. So you gotta love the desire and the courage of the drivers who's coming in randomly trying to see if they can get up on track and race. Sometimes they just don't read the race titles. There's lots of reasons why we see non-registered league racers coming into the races at times, but that's all right. It happens. Hope everybody's having a fantastic weekend here. It's near the end of summer. I'm sure everybody's enjoying what's left of that nice weather. That car racer just wanted to get across the first timing sector so we can get this positioning on the racetrack. So when he goes to start the race of course places him in the right position here on the racetrack. So this is a little bit of an odd qualifying procedure for those of us that are Gran Turismo 7 savvy, especially. You might be sitting here going, well, why don't they just use the qualifying in-race qualifying settings in the game, Ghost? It's a good question. When the game was didn't have that option available to us. This was the procedure here at the Gran Turismo racing community to do qualifying to set up our race. So in the sake of not fixing something that really isn't broken, the GTRC has just decided not to make a change in that procedure, even though that we now do have the in-game qualifying settings. With that being said, probably a good call here on the part of the Gran Turismo racing community, in my opinion, because we have seen issues with the in-game qualifying lobby settings since they've implemented them right up until after this most recent update. It creates issues for some reason, and this way it just is more tried and true, and it just works. Alright, so we're just getting the last of our drivers to round up into turn 1 here. Again, this is all kind of part of the procedure here. But it is going to be Tintin here, who is our pole sitter. I'm not exactly sure what the delay is at the moment. But we would be in racing conditions here shortly. Alright, so you can see everybody's just checking in with race control here. Oh, pardon me, didn't mean to bump the mic there, my bad. And we should be underway here shortly, ladies and gentlemen. Should be underway shortly. Alright, our racers are lined up. 30 minutes, mandatory pit stop. Dynamic weather, meaning rain is most certainly a possibility at Red Bull Ring here today. Kick them tires, light them fires. We're going racing. And waiting for that light to turn. We're green, green, green. And that was a very long hold on the racers there at the start-finish line. Nobody false starting there, so everybody keeping it mean, lean. Red Bull Racing Machines. And, oh, we got one driver a little bit out wide there. I believe that was Supra that went out wide there. I'm not sure if that was the contact or not, or if he just tried to stay a little bit wide into the corner there and just missed his mark. Oh, it was bar 27 here off the track there. And I believe maybe that was the driver we seen stricken there. And we got Tro and Kobe, also stricken here. So hold on, let me take a look at what we got going on here, because I did not see what happened there. Let's see if we can catch what happened there. No, too late. It's unfortunate, but we do have two cars stricken there. We have Trone with some front end damage. We got Barr in behind here in 11th place. He doesn't have any damage, but I suspect that may have been an incident involving the two drivers perhaps, and the reason why we're seeing Barr maybe give that position back, I think, while we're trying to find out what happened there. But nonetheless, race started. Not worthy of a red flag situation there, unfortunately, for those two drivers. They're just going to have to continue on, and it is time to race. So Tintin coming through with the pole position after qualifying and leading this first lap of the race here, but he does pick up a half-second time limit penalty there, which is definitely going to slow him down a little bit in the next time around the racetrack. Here we got Doug in 3rd place. Lost a position to Super there on the race start. We got Happy Pappy in 4th, but TDC Gaming right there in 5th position, tucked right in behind. Let's see if he makes a move here. And we might have a pass attempt coming there. Nope, everybody's just kind of keeping it nice and neat and tidy here right now. What do we else we got? We got Hair Razor in 6th place, so no change in position here, but he is under attack by Sheriff Doofy here right now. And he does have the inside coming into the braking zone, however, though, so that should maybe potentially get him a strike back here. But Sheriff Doofy gets a good run through the corner there, and he is going to take P6 away from Hair Razor there. So Hair Razor down into 7th position with Cobra. Closing in here in 8th place. We got Type R there in 9th position. We got Trone, bar 27 here, pardon me, in 10th place. And we got Trone here fixing up that racing car right now. And that is basically going to clear that pit stop mandate for him here. So modified strategy here for Trone Kobe. And hopefully that can work out for him here. Going to come down to whether or not he can keep the fuel load in the car enough to get the rest of the distance. He's going to need to go about 27 minutes on the fuel, and I'm not 100% sure what the fuel consumption in these cars is like here around Red Bull Ring either. So Supra getting around 10-10 there as he has to serve that penalty from lap number 1. So Supra is going to take over the race lead here for the time being as we come across the start finish line to start lap number 3. 10-10 now in 2nd place and Doug Burrow in 3rd place. So our top 3 all in a line here as we head into turn number 1. We'll stay with Doug Burrow here, our 3rd place driver, as they navigate turn 1 there. And you can see the cars are very, very easily unsettled. They really do require all that aerodynamic package to really maximize everything these cars have. And when you run over a thing like a curb or a bump and it just it releases that pressure slightly from the track surface, that's when we start to see these cars really wiggle around. And you'll also see these cars really wiggle under braking as well. So should be interesting to see how this race shapes up here today. We got Pappy and TDC Gaming side by side coming out of turn number 3 here. And this is a battle for 4th place, and we got a battle for the race lead up ahead. There's Tintin also going up the inside of Supra there, and Supra's going to do the over-under here in response, and we've got a side-by-side battle here for 1st and 2nd place. TDC does not manage to get to position on Pappy. Pappy does defend and hold P4 for the time being, but it is Tintin and Supra here having a great battle coming through the S's, and Tintin is going to just hold off the defensive charge from Supra there and take the race lead back away. And Doug Burrow's just chilling right there in 3rd place and watching it all go down, watching it all happen in front of him. And it might be a penalty having to be served there from Supra, as now Doug is going to move up into 2nd place with that penalty from Supra, and that penalty has now put 4th, 5th, and 6th place right on this battle, and now this became a five-way battle for the lead here currently. As the races come around, and Sheriff Doofy in 6th place is just right there in behind as well, nipping at the heel of that front pack. We got Cobra and Hair Razor here in 7th and 8th place, so they have swapped these positions around here. Ooh, and a little bit of a slide coming around turn 1 there for Cobra, but it keeps the car underneath of him. And Hair Razor is going to get a good charge on him, so we might see maybe an attack here from Hair Razor coming into turn number 3. Let's just stick with this here for a second. And we're trying to kind of keep our eye on this front pack and this little battle happening right here in the mid pack at the moment. Had nothing doing at the moment. So Doug Burrow, Supra here in 3rd place, and then TDC now up into 4th place. So Happy Pappy losing a position here to TDC. TDC finally able to find his way around Happy Pappy, and charge now is the podium. And Happy Pappy getting taken a look there on the inside by Sheriff Doofy. Gets a great run into turn number 5 there, and through the S's we're going to be side by side for P5. Sheriff does have the advantage coming around the corner. Ooh, he gets a little bit of traction loss there on that curbing and almost lost that car, but he keeps it underneath of him and still manages to keep Pappy in behind there as well. So Sheriff Doofy now moving up into 5th place, trying to close in on TDC Gaming, but Happy Pappy is still tucked right in there in 6th place, and he's like, that's all right, mate. I'm still right here. I am here, and we are ready to battle. We got Dark Cobra and Hair Razor here in 7th and 8th position right now on the racetrack, and separated by about a car length right now, the two of them. We got Type R here in 9th position. We got Bar 27 here in 10th place, and we've got Trone Kobe a little dissatisfied potentially with race start there and sitting in pit lane at the moment here, having his team looking at that car. Ooh, and a big move right there from Dugborough. He took a look there, and that is going to cost him a position there to Supra and potentially also the TDC and Sheriff Doofy there. And boy, we're going to go take another look at that here. Let's go see what happened there as we're coming into turn number 3. Doug's in the slip of the race leader here. He goes to get some clean air to make the move, and I think that Tin Ten didn't realize that he had moved in on the inside there and went to go take the turn-in line there and forced Doug to have to take the curb there, and that ultimately cost Doug an extra position there. So I thought about making the move into turn 3 there, but Tin Ten, not knowing he was there, definitely cutting the nose off the car there, and you know, it's risk versus reward, and Doug decided that there was a hole there, but the hole closed very quickly, and there was no contact there, which is the important thing, and all the racers keep trucking on there, but not sure whose mistake that was made there, but Dugborough now in 3rd place due to it. Sheriff Doofy up into 4th place here. He's gotten around TDC Gaming, now trying to track down the podium. TDC is still right there in behind Sheriff Doofy, and there's just a small little gap now between the front pack and a 6th place driver, Happy Pappy, about 1.5 seconds off the pace here currently of the front pack. Dark Cobra is about 2.3 seconds, pardon me, in behind Happy Pappy here in the early goings of this race. We're only 8 minutes into this 30-minute race, plus a mandatory set of pit stops yet to come as well. We got Type R here in 9th position. We got Bar 27 here in 10th place as well. And then we got Trone we got a 3 wide coming into turn number 3 here now, and this is Tin Ten, Doug, Supra, and Sheriff Doofy, and we're definitely going to go take another look at that one again. And turn 3 is the spicy spot here on the racetrack right now, it seems like, for these guys. And 3 wide coming into the braking zone here, and Doug had the leading line there. Great job there by Sheriff to avoid contact there. He's still side by side with TDC and Supra there, and that is how we got ahead of TDC Gaming there, but Supra with a half-second track limit penalty there, and that is going to ultimately cost him at least 1 position here as they come up into that penalty serving zone. So Supra, as he comes around this last S here, ooh, big slide there from Sheriff, and he is going to snap that car around and go into the gravel there, and that is definitely going to cost him a few positions there. We've seen that one happening in the workings there, the tank slapper, as we like to call it, the fuel shifting very aggressively in the tank when the car is already broken traction, and that fuel movement to the other side, it just absolutely shot the car around the other direction there, and all the way down to 9th place here is Sheriff now. So he's going to have some work to do to try and catch back up, but he's got the pace there, so let's see what he can do with it. We got Bar 27 here in 10th place. He's about 4.5 seconds in behind Sheriff, and Trone in pit lane there, having everything taken a look at. All right, so Tin Ten and Dugborough here. This battle is still very, very active here for 1st through 4th place now, with the unfortunate incident there from Sheriff Doofy through the S's, and now it is a 4-way battle. So Doug is right there in behind. He's got a good slip here on Tin Ten, and he's going to take the outside line here coming into turn number 5. And can he get the job done on the outside there? No, he cannot. And just left with enough racing room there is Tin Ten there. And that was a good, solid defense there from Tin Ten. But just a little bit of battling back and forth is only allowing 3rd, 4th, and 5th place to start to close back in on those front 2 again as well. So every time that they go to try and battle for that lead, they are giving up time to the guys in behind. But Tin Ten right now with just about a half a second and closing here from Doug. Supra is coming through there in 3rd place, 0.8 of a second in behind those guys. We got TDC 1 second in behind Supra, and Happy Pappy just having to serve a half-second track limit penalty there, just losing the slipstream due to that. So Cobra here now is about 2.3 seconds in behind, with Hair Razor chasing here in 7th place. We got Type R in 8th position. We got Sheriff here in 9th place after his mistake, and we got Bar 27 in 10th place, and that is the cars that are still on track rolling here for the time being. Dugborough taking the race lead away from Tin Ten here, coming through turns number 1 and into turn number 2, and Tin Ten here is going to try to respond back. He's going to go up the outside into turn number 3 here, and it's going to be a tough pass to hold, but he does manage to get a good run there. But Dugborough still defending the position from him here, but boy, Supra is now heavily involved in this three-way battle for the lead, and Tinten is going to again just opt to choose his line here. They're going to go side by side heading into turn number 5. Ooh, and Tinten went real deep on the brakes there, and that might cost him a little more than just that battle for first place, as Supra now is going to take advantage and duck in underneath. Supra going to take second place away from Tinten here, and it is a good battle here right now between the 4 drivers up front. TDC Gaming has managed to get his way back up into this fight, but unfortunately for him there, he was sitting there with a half-second track limit penalty. It's going to take him right back off this fight just as they come up the hill here. So Happy Pappy in 5th place is about 3 seconds in behind TDC, and that penalty will help him close up a little bit. Cobra is closing in on Happy Pappy here a little bit, which means Hair Razor is also closing in on Pappy a little bit. Type R is about 5 seconds in behind. Sheriff is starting to close in here, 2.1 seconds in behind Type R, and Bar 27 is about 5.2 seconds in behind here. And a tough race start there, but this battle up front has been pretty intense here. Now it's Supra going for the race lead here on Doug, but Doug takes an extremely wide entry there and gets a really good run through turn 1 there, and he's going to easily defend that position from Supra and also get a good charge out of the corner and start to try to pull a gap on the 3 in behind here. So now Tinten in 3rd place is going to be looking to go up the inside of Supra, and we got TDC Gaming there who's going to stay in behind Supra, and Tinten is going to take 2nd place back away from Supra as we head through turn number 3. So he is going to tuck right into that slipstream of Tinten, and that is going to allow him to get back up beside our 2nd place driver. And the more that these two continue to battle, the better chance that Doug now has at running away from this pack. And TDC Gaming is going to take a little peek at the hole left there by Supra as well, but he just can't quite make anything stick there, so he is going to settle back into 4th position here. Good battling happening here right now in the front 4 at about the midway point of the race, just a little bit before at this point here now. And Dougborough with a 0.8 of a second lead over Tinten right now. He is starting to open the gap up on Supra a little bit. TDC here tucked right in behind, applying a little bit of pressure here to Supra as well as they come through turns 9 and 10 here, and he gets a nice tight line through turn 9 there. Should give him a good setup for turn number 10 here, and it does. He gets a good clean run through there, and that's going to give him a good pull on Supra up in front here, and he should be able to use a slingshot here and potentially make the move coming into turn number 1, but he's going to actually opt to just settle in behind and wait for a better opportunity here, maybe. I'm not sure, but Supra gets a good run there up in 3rd place here, and he's going to put a little bit of pressure here now on Tinten, and we're going to go back side by side here. So as these guys continue to start to close the gap back up on the race leader, of course they close the gap up on each other. It creates a positional changing or battling into the hard braking zones here at Red Bull Ring, and ooh, it's anybody's race to lose or win it here at this point. With TDC just gathering that car back up as he lost it coming out of turn number 3 there. That was a great save, managed to keep it out of the wall and not really lose that front pack either. So whoo-hoo, tense moments right there for TDC Gaming. All right, let's go check out what's happening here in behind that crazy front pack for a minute. We got Happy Pappy in 5th place right now. He is about 4.2 seconds in behind that pack. We got Hair Razor here in 6th position. We've got Sheriff Doofy here in 7th. We've got Type R here in 8th. We've got Bar in 9th. And we've got Cobra here in 10th place. But Cobra has made his pit stop here. So he will be the first of the drivers to make their pit stop here in race number 1. Now again, it is a mandatory pit stop here in race number 1. It is not mandatory to take tires or fuel, however, but it is mandatory to at least make the pit stop. So Doug is going to come into pit lane. Supra is also going to come into pit lane. Tinten is going to stay out on track, and so is TDC Gaming. And I think that's an interesting call because now these two drivers have a little bit of that pressure alleviated. They get some clean racing air, and they get to run some laps without battling for position in every other corner. So that may actually help improve the pace, and we'll have to wait to see if the overcut or the undercut is going to work out better there. We got Happy Pappy in 3rd. We got Sheriff coming around there in 4th place, and he just about lost the back end of that the Red Bull there as he comes around turn 1, but again does a great job to keep it underneath of him. We got Doug in pit lane, Hair Razor in pit lane, we got Super in pit lane, we got Type R in pit lane, we got Bar 27 in pit lane, and then we got Dark Cobra who pit the lap previous to these guys pardon me. And he is going to come back out. just behind Hair Razor. So Hair Razor grabbing the position away from Dark Cobra there through that pit stop exchange. And Dark Cobra is going to settle in about 1 second in behind Hair there. So a little bit of positional gain and loss through the pit stop sequence there, but it's not finished yet. We still got our first and second and third place, first through fourth place, pardon me, to yet to make that mandatory stop. So there will be a little bit of space here now in this race in the middle part until we see these 4 drivers make their pit stop, whenever that may be. We see Tin 10 coming in right now. TDC is going to opt to go around again. And he's going for the extra overcut here compared to Tin 10, Doug, and Supra. So Tin 10 coming into pit lane. Happy Pappy has also opted to stay out longer. Sheriff Doofy is decided to come in, so he's just going for your typical 1-lap overcut there over his opponents that he's trying to catch back up to after his mistake up in, I believe, through the Schumacher S's that is there. Alright, so as Dugborough comes around, where is he going to come out to in relation to Tin 10 is the bigger question here. We did expect to see him come out ahead of Sheriff Doofy, but where is Tin 10 going to come out in relation to Dugborough and Supra coming around pit lane here, and he's going to come out just ahead. So it looks like about a half-second gap there for Tin 10 over Dugborough, which will eventually give him the race lead once TDC and Pappy make their pit stops, which could be this time around, could be next time around. We'll have to wait and find out here. So let's sit on board with our current race leader here, TDC Gaming, and see what he opts to do this time around. And I just noticed Star Fox on the spoiler of his Redbull Junior car here. Talk about giving homage to a classic right there. We all remember Star Fox, a video game. Come on now. That was epic in his time. And he is going to go around again here, it looks like. So, same thing for Pappy here as well. We got Tin 10 here still holding out in front of Dugborough here, but he's got a half-second penalty, which he's going to be having to serve here as he comes across these yellow banners right there. You can see him serve that penalty there, so Doug is going to get a charge on Tin 10 here, but Tin 10 has the defensive track coming into turn number 9, but Doug does have enough carrying speed to come into the corner ahead of Tin 10 there, and Dugborough is going to take third place back away from Tin 10 here. So Dugborough looking to grandfather the race lead once our race leader and Happy Pappy in second place make their pit stop. So battle for the third place here currently as it stands on the racetrack side by side through turn 1. There's Dugborough and Tin 10. Tin 10 gets about half sideways around the corner there, manages to keep it together and tucks right back into the slipstream of Dugborough here. And the slipstream in these Red Bull Junior cars is truly very strong and powerful. And I mean, if this race hasn't shown how strong this slipstream really is in these cars with the mistakes the drivers have been making, and they're not really seeming to lose that time, and good hard elbows out fighting here through turn number 3 between Dugborough and Tin 10, and they are side by side right now as we head towards turn 4 and 5, and that means TDC may have an opportunity to try and close up some free time, or Supra may have an opportunity to close up some free time there, but Tin 10's going to give up the position to Doug coming into the braking zone there, and I think that was a good call. They probably realized they were going to start costing a little too much time to the driver chasing him behind, which is Supra currently, and this way this gets them both through the corner quicker and live to fight another day or another section here on the racetrack. But Tin 10 tucked in very solidly there on Dugborough, and he gets a good run through the corner and closes up that gap just a little bit more here as we head up the hill. So I do suspect to see, as our race leader has come into pit lane here, where is Happy Pappy? Happy Pappy is continuing to go around here, so running a very, very long stint here on those medium tires to start this race off here, but he does currently have the race lead due to it. So Dugborough and Tin 10 are coming around here. Let's see if the extra super duper overcut has worked out for TDC and gotten him ahead of these guys, and it has. Now the bigger question is here, and TDC has been very famous for this season here at GTRC, is has he taken enough fuel in his Red Bull Junior car to get the rest of the way, because his super overcut strategy has worked out beautifully for him here. He's got a 5-second gap right now over Dugborough and Tin 10. The question is, did he take enough fuel to be able to not have to give up any of his pace to try and keep charge of those two behind him? Happy Pappy here still in the race lead. It's going to be interesting to see how this overcut works out for Pappy now. Supra is right there. He's still 1.6 seconds in behind. We got Cobra about 6 seconds in behind them. He has managed his way back around Hair Razor here. Sheriff Doofy is chasing in 6th place and closing in on Dark Cobra here as well as we head in towards the Schumacher S's. Hair Razor not that far behind here in 8th place, just outside of that slipstream range currently. And our race leader now coming into pit lane here. So Happy Pappy is the last of our drivers to make that required pit stop here today in race number 1. And it'll be interesting to see where he comes out now in comparison to the rest of the field. So Cobra is doing a pretty good job at holding off the charge of Sheriff Doofy here for the time being, but Sheriff Doofy is definitely all over the rear bumper of that Red Bull Junior here right now. And as we come through turns number 9 and 10, are we going to see a move heading towards turn number 1? It's all going to come down to what kind of run both the drivers get out of the final corner here. Sheriff gets a really good run coming through that final corner here and should have plenty of speed to go ahead and move up the inside on Dark Cobra here and battle for 6th place overall here between Sheriff and Cobra. And Sheriff is going to get the job done there coming through turn number 1. Cobra falling back into 7th place there, but tucked in nice and tight on Sheriff there, and a little bit of a push there from Cobra on Sheriff there, and a little bit of teamwork happening right there heading into towards turn number 3. So interesting to see if that's going to progress as we draw closer towards the end of this race. Try to see if they can close up on the next positional driver ahead, which would be Supra in 5th place, and that gap is 6.4 seconds. So be interesting to see if they can make something happen there. But it is TDC here, 5.6 seconds up the road. I'm going to say with 7 minutes left on the clock that he's looking pretty good for fuel here. And it is Tintin, Doug, and Happy Pappy. Happy Pappy actually comes out in behind Doug and Tintin there and stays out in front of Supra. And there is a penalty here on Tintin in 2nd place. So is there a podium here maybe in Pappy's race today, as these guys are very, very neck and neck right now in 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th place. And Doug Burrow is going to hold down 2nd place. Pappy is going to stay ahead in 3rd. Tintin is in 4th place after having to serve that penalty, managing to hold Supra off in behind in 7th place. Pappy thinking about breaking the toe there, and he tucks back in the line, realizing if he loses the toe of Doug there, he might be at the mercy of those two in behind. So that was a good, quick decision right there from Pappy. And he goes semi-defensive under braking there, and Tintin is just cool, calm, collected here in behind the wheel of this Red Bull Junior car, but he is under attack now again by Supra here. And TDC has got to be loving this if he is in communication with his team right now, because this battle between these 4 drivers is only helping him maintain that gap right now in the race lead. And a mistake made there by Pappy, but unable to take advantage was Supra and Tintin. So we have Sheriff and Cobra here in 6th and 7th place, and the gap is 5.8 seconds to that group in front. So they are closing in, but 5 minutes and 40 seconds on the clock. Maybe a little too late here in race number 1 for that late charge, but I guess we'll have to wait and see how it all plays out. So TDC Gaming coming in with a big out-of-the-box strategy. This is one of my favorite out-of-the-box strategies to see in these styles of races, and just really extend that first stint out as long as possible, keep as much clean air as possible, and hope you get rewarded for it. And right now, currently as it stands, he's doing exactly that, but now it's on him to make sure he can keep that gap and bring it home to the checkered flag. Got Doug Burrow here in 2nd position. Happy Pappy still holding strong here in 3rd place, but he's got Tintin and Super in 4th and 5th place there to try and spoil podium hopes for him and Doug here. So 2nd and 3rd place most certainly still up for grabs as it stands right now on the racetrack, and that is definitely between the 4 drivers here. We've kind of really been watching the whole first race here, because man, they've been racing hard. Sheriff Doofy here is 5.4 seconds in behind. He is closing in on that group in front, but I just don't think that the clock is in his favor here to get close enough to try and get some position away. Dark Cobra here 1.6 seconds in behind his teammate there. We got Hair Razor here about 3.6 seconds in behind Cobra. Got Type Bar here in 9th position, closing in on Hair Razor a little bit there, and then we've got Bar 27 here in 10th place. All right, so TDC Gaming here with 4 minutes on the clock, coming around the S's here right now. That's going to give these guys about 3 more laps by the time he comes around to the start-finish line here. Now, these guys are 6 seconds in behind the race leader, and that 6 seconds can make a huge amount of difference here today in race number 1. We'll have to wait and see how the time looks as they come across the start-finish line, but it is going to be very, very close to whether or not they get a third lap as the race leader. Again, 6 seconds up the road here, but this pack is closing in here. You can see that gap went from 6 to 5.3 in a hurry. Happy Pappy here in third position right now, and he is going to pull out, just try to break that slipstream just a tiny little bit there, but that almost cost him an error there as he moved over under braking and almost lost the back end of that car. And now Tin 10 has gotten a good run on him here, and a little over defensive potentially. There's Happy Pappy. That may have potentially cost him coming into turn number 3 here. Let's see if Tin 10 can get the position here, and under braking we are side by side there, and just completely out braking Happy Pappy there to take that final podium position away here with 2 minutes and 45 seconds left on the clock. But Happy Pappy is having none of that, and he is going to try and respond here as we head into turn number 5. Doug Burrow there in second place. He's just loving the fact that third and fourth place are fighting right now, because that means they're not battling with him. Tin 10 is going to defend the position there on Pappy, and now Supra is involved in this here in 5th place as well. This is a juicy four-way battle here, and this is probably where we're going to stick it out here for the remainder of the race for the most part, as this is most certainly where the action is. Supra's going to take a look up the inside of Pappy there. Might have just been a small amount of contact there, but it didn't seem like it phased any of the drivers. Pappy's going to just hold the position ahead of Supra there, but that little battle has pulled both those drivers off that battle for third place. What do we got left on the clock here as we're coming around? We got about a minute and 50 seconds here. So this will be our second last lap here. We're getting very close here in race number 1, as our top 5 for sure will continue to go around one more time. Hair Raiser will also get another lap here. Where's bar 27? Looks like for the most part the whole field is going to get through one more time here. And oh, we got Cobra here down into 10th place, so a mistake made there by Cobra potentially, or a pit stop maybe made by Cobra there. I'm not exactly sure, but down into 10th there very late in the race, and that is very unfortunate there for that driver, as definitely on the back foot with a minute and 10 seconds remaining, but it is what it is. That just means you'll get a good starting position in race number 2. Alright, so it is TDC here in first place, and I mean, he is definitely in control here. He's going to have a second penalty, but he's got a 7-second gap right now over the pack chasing, so doesn't need to stress out too much there, and he's just got to worry about getting one more time around the racetrack and not letting this group catch up. So Doug here in second place. He's got Pappy now in third place. So Pappy has gotten back ahead of Tin 10 here. And as they continue on the battle, he's going to take a semi-defensive line coming into the corner here. Tin 10 is just going to settle back in behind. And again, cool, calm, and collected is Tin 10 in behind the wheel of this car here. So it's interesting to see what he's got thinking in his mind here. And Pappy gets it a little bit wrong coming out of turn 10 there. And Tin 10, he gets a nice, good, clean exit there. But unfortunately, he wasn't able to get a better run than Pappy through the corner. So he's just going to have to settle back into the slipstream here. And this is it. Final lap here as we come around turn number 1, and it is definitely going to be battle on here now between second through 5th place. But Sheriff Doofy is just lurking in the background here right now. He's only maybe a couple seconds off this group. 2 seconds as they come through turn number 3 here. Oh, and Doug makes that little big mistake there. He gets a little slide on the exit there, and that is going to allow Pappy to get a run here. And Pappy is looking to try and get up the inside there, but instead he gets stonewalled as Doug doesn't give him any movement in that car there. And he's like, if you want the inside, well, you're going to have to go off-roading to get it. So that was a good defensive posture there from Doug, and that actually may have made the difference there for Doug as we head into the S's here. But we're going to jump onto our race leader here real quick as he continues through the S's, and we're just going to kind of keep jumping between the 2 packs here. Happy still holding off Tin 10 here for the time being, but I suspect that there's going to be a charge very late coming through the final couple corners here, and we'll do our best to catch it all as it happens here. But it is TDC Gaming, and he's going to come around, and it's going to be a race 1 victory here for TDC Gaming, the damn cat. Congratulations to him. That was a great race and a great strategy to get him there. Oh, and there we go. The battle for third place there. Looks like it's going to go to Tintin there. So that comes in second, Tintin in third, Happy Pappy in fourth, and Supra. No, Sheriff. Sheriff in fifth place. So Supra must have made a mistake here somewhere along the way, and he's actually going to fall down into P6 there and almost losing that position to Hair Razor. He's going to come across in 7th place. Bar is going to find himself up into 8th place here. Type R is going to take 9th place, and Dark Cobra there was an unfortunate late race situation there. We're not sure whether he had to pit or if he had an incident. In 10th place, and Tron Kobe here going to finish it in pit lane here in race number 1. Whew, evening mate, looks like a good series here. Some fast lads. Cheers, WPR. How you doing, my man? Been a long time. Hope you're doing well. Got Edward coming in with the thumbs up as well. Jason, hey, how's everyone? Everyone is good, my man. Everyone is good. I apologize if I miss your guys' comments. They're just not updating on my streaming software. Like at all. So it is a race win there for TDC Gaming, and that's the first one here, I think, for him this season. He's been very feisty so far early in this season with these Redbull Junior cars, and he finally pots himself a race win here. But now that means he is going to pack on a little bit of extra weight going into race number 2. So our top 6 drivers, TDC Gaming, Doug Burrow, Tintin, Happy Pappy, Sheriff Doofy, and Supra, are all going to add some kilograms to their Red Bull Junior cars, and that weight is to be placed right underneath the driver. And of course, weight, depending on the position you finished in, varies. Of course, 6th place with the the least amount of weight being added, all the way up into 1st place with the most amount of weight added. And we will set the grid based on reverse order as how race number 1 here finished. So TDC Gaming, not only will he get added some weight for winning race number 1, he will also start in the back of the pack. So the drivers that finished at the end will finish up front, or start up front in race number 2, and the drivers that finished up front will start in the back with weight in race number 2. Now this is ultimately designed to try and even up the playing field, because we don't have a skill-based division placement here in our Red Bull Juniors today. This is kind of how we utilize that skill gap. We add weight to the faster drivers typically that finish race number 1, and that usually balances out, or the idea is to balance out race number 2. The balance has been a little bit of a hot topic here this season with the nature of these cars. So it's going to be very interesting to see how the standings are really ultimately going to shake up at the end of the season. I suspect that the standings are going to be relatively close, probably within the top 4 or 5 drivers throughout the season. But it's really hard to say. Really hard to say. All right, so let's take a little peek here. Let us look. Let us look. So it is Doug Burrow currently leading the championship with 56 points. We have Tintin in 2nd place with 51 points, and we have Piggums in 3rd place with 48 points, who's not on the grid here today. We have Mike Mates with 43 points, also not on the grid here today. Supra in 5th place there with 42 points. 6th place, pardon me. Going to definitely gain some positions here with a couple of the drivers missing today. We've got Trone there with 35 points. We've got Mark with 33 points, not in the grid today. We have Type R with 33 points as well. JSET and Bar 27 tied with 32 points. Jay not in the grid here today. We have TDC right in behind Bar there with 27 points, but a massive race 1 win. She's going to shoot him straight up those standings real quick here today. Dark Cobra there is 20 points, and Happy Pappy with just 1 point. So a super solid finisher for Happy Pappy in race number 1 is also going to jump him up those standings a little bit. Now, keeping in mind some of the drivers have missed a race. This is essentially a registered series, but a drop-in style series. So we have just an overall list of drivers and first come, first serve type deal on the Saturday. So if you want to get involved, you got to jump into the Gran Turismo Racing Community Discord server. And if you can also find us here on Sim League Pro, just search Gran Turismo Racing Community, join the community. Once you've joined this Gran Turismo Racing Community, you can check out and see what great championships are up for racing currently, and that is the GR3 championship and, of course, the Redbull Junior championship, and they run in alternating weekends in sequence. So we'll see round 4 of the GT3s next weekend, and then we'll see round 4 of the Redbull Juniors the weekend after, so on and so forth, leading right up into the holiday season, where both seasons will be very timely finished, just in time for everybody to enjoy that lovely family time at the end of the year. I'm not saying the word because it's a little too early in my opinion, but alright, so we're just getting the grid set here, and once that grid is set, we're just kind of keeping our eye on what race control has going on here, and then we'll get right back into the action. So race number 2 is going to be a whole different beast. We've seen some really, really great action in race number 1, but there was strategy involved in race number 1. That strategy was a mandatory pit stop. Now, there was no requirements on that pit stop except for the fact that you had to make a pit stop, which means you had to come into your pit box, make a complete stop at bare minimum before your release, which will clear, of course, that pit mandate. Now, in race number 2, we have a 20-minute all-out sprint race. These guys aren't going to need to worry about fuel. They don't need to worry about tires, and they don't need to worry about a pit stop. This race is full send it for 20 straight minutes, which means the action quite potentially is going to be even more intense here in race number 2 than it was in race number 1. And that's saying a lot, because that 4-5-way battle for the overall podium for the majority of that race was pretty awesome, to say the least. And if you're watching that live, you know exactly what I'm talking about, because that was epic. Absolutely epic battling between the Team Rad drivers specifically. Alright, so we're just waiting for, again, race control to just get things sorted out here. So I am going to do a quick little look over on all the streams, make sure everything is still moving properly, and it looks like everything is still moving pretty properly, so that's fantastic. Ouch. Alright, so we're just waiting for one racer here to get strapped back into his racing machine. There we go. And we should see a race number 2 start here fairly shortly. So with that being said, let's go take a quick peek here and get our results all doctored up here. And fastest lap on the racetrack did go to TT Sheriff Doofy with a 1:30.195 there in race number 1 as well. So definitely had good pace, made that mistake, went down to the back of the pack, came all the way back up to 5th place. That was a good drive there from Sheriff Doofy, but it's TDC Gaming with the win, Doug Burrow in 2nd, and Tin 10 there in 3rd place. Happy Pappy just missing out on the podium there by about 1/10 of a second there, and good battle leading right into turn number 10 for that final podium position there in race number 1 as well. So that was a great job by all our racers. And race control is just sorting out all that race ballast and all that great stuff that happens in behind the scenes there. Drivers are just adding that cross weight into their racing cars right now in pit lane. Of course, our tech officials will go around and make sure that the right weight is on the right cars in the right place. And once race control is satisfied with that, they will send race number 2 to green flag condition. So we should see a driver lineup here on the grid within the next 2 or 3 minutes. Of course, it takes a few minutes for race control to crawl underneath these race cars and make sure they've got that weight in. Tireless efforts from race control and volunteers at the racetracks weekend in and weekend out. So much love to all our volunteers behind the scenes that makes these series, these championship events and special event races that we see here on Gran Turismo 7, organized racing events, go off, well, ideally without a hitch anyways. That's what we're always shooting for. So we can't do it without the volunteers. So much love to the volunteers as always. The volunteers really are the heart and soul of anything that's going on this tireless effort, and it's not thanked enough in my opinion, so we got to make sure we throw it out there. Because they work hard. They work very hard as well. Random weather is still in play here, so that could completely change the way that this race goes. I'd be very curious to see what would happen if we get rain in the middle of the sprint race, because that's going to force a potential pit stop for the drivers. However, with that being said, these cars are very, very aerodynamically sound and built and designed for speed and traction and grip. They're probably pretty good in the rain. Comes down to driver skill at that point. So it would be interesting to see how these cars handle the extreme weather conditions that we can see on a racetrack from time to time. We may see it today, we may not. It looked like maybe we're going to see a little bit of moisture there in race number 1, but the weather decided to keep it nice and sunny on the racetrack for the drivers, which provided for a great race for everybody. And race number 2 should just be on a whole different level here. I'm at work and your smooth tones are making me sleepy. Don't tell your boss. Don't tell your boss. I know we got to get back to some racing action so we can get some variation in the tone. Again, we're just coming off a little bit of a break here too right now on the page. That's why we haven't seen a lot of GT45 Gaming content probably in the last 6 months, really. Maintenance on equipment, maintenance on myself, obviously some real life things happening in the background that definitely needed some priority attention, and I think we got everything kind of moving and grooving and sorted back out here, so we're going to start getting a lot more regular great racing content out there for everybody again, and it looks like we're getting a lineup here. Oh good, you're the boss? Oh well, perfect then. Don't forget to pay yourself some overtime. We got Josephine coming in with that thumbs up on the stream. Appreciate that. A like on the stream. Welcome in. Also, the new follow as well, a newest member of the Winner Circle community. Welcome in to Josephine, to the Winner Circle community. Appreciate that follow on the page. Absolute legend right there, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, looks like the drivers are ready to go here, and looks like Race Control is sending them out to get them on the grid. So with that being said, let's get to the grid. I really wish that these settings would just stay saved for us commentators. That would really help us. Alright, so all 12 drivers are back. Yep, 12 drivers are on track here. Tro and Kobe has gotten that car sorted out, and he will be starting in pole position here in race number 2. But that last place finisher in race number 1 is definitely going to hurt that points charge as he's sitting in the middle of the standings pack. And here we go for race number 2. Green flag has dropped, and here we go. 20 minutes, absolute full-sended action, and looks like Sheriff Doofy spun around there in turn number 1. We got Doug Burrow there in 11th position, and again, remembering the top 6 drivers from race number 1 have some added weight on their racing cars. It's going to change the way the cars handle, the way they brake, the way they turn, and their overall top speed. So the drivers are going to have to make those adjustments on the fly here in race number 2 and figure out what that car is doing and how to get it as fast as possible here to try and gain positions on the racetrack. But we have some 3 wide action here entering into turn number 4, and everybody is a little more settled into this race after a first hard-fought race number 1. Super there in 6th place. He's looking to try and get around Tintin there, and does he get the job done? Tintin in response as he has the inside here in through the S's. And the usual suspects right back at it here in race number 2 again, but Supra is going to go ahead and slot out in front there, and Tintin's going to lose that position potentially to Type R there, as well as Type R makes a charge, but Type R is not going to be able to get it done. He's just going to have to settle back in behind Tintin here in 7th position. Ooh, we got a little bit of a wide exit there from, I believe that was Hair Razor in behind, or Doug Burrow, pardon me, in behind. In 10th place there. So Hair Razor now putting some pressure here as he's up on the inside of Dark Cobra into turn number 1, looking to grab that position away. And lots of racing room into turn number 1. It's a great passing zone, and that's why we see lots of action there. And also turn number 3, also a very high action-packed zone due to the very hard braking zone nature of the corner. So Hair Razor now, we've taken a look up the inside of Tro and Kobe, and we got battles 3 deep for position here as we come in through the field. And Tro and Kobe's just playing it safe here. He's just going to take a nice, tight, tidy corner. He's just going to let Hair Razor go ahead and move up into first place there and live to fight another day. Maybe not quite feeling comfortable underneath that race car yet. Maybe those tires are not quite up to temps yet, but he now has Dark Cobra applying some pressure, which has also allowed Supra now to get up on the inside of Dark Cobra there. But Cobra gets a good run under braking there on the outside of the corner, but he cannot hold the charge off from Tron. So Tron's still holding strong here in second place, but Cobra now up on the inside here as we come through the S's, and he is going to get the pass done. Supra's trying to follow suit. A little bit of contact there between the two as Supra's trying to muscle his way through, following Cobra there as well, and Tron is just going to slot back into fourth place here, and he's going to look up the inside now on Supra. So here we go. Okay, this is going to be a busy race, ladies and gentlemen. Let's try to stick with as much of this as we can side by side through turn number 9 here, and again, squeezed a little tight there, and he just checked up a little bit there, and that cost him a couple more positions on the racetrack here. Now he's just trying to get back into the rhythm of the race here. He slots back into 7th place, gets into the slipstream here, and maybe just a little bit rattled from race number 1 there is Tro and Kobe right now, and just trying to kind of get settled into his Red Bull Junior car here. But it is Hair Razor with a 1.7 second lead over Dark Cobra here in second place. Supra is chasing Dark Cobra down here in the 3rd position, but Bar 24 is right there in 4th place as well. Tin 10 up into 5th position here with Doug Burrow up in 6th place chasing. Got Tro and Kobe in 7th here, trying to close back in on those two drivers. Now remember, those two drivers in front of Tron are carrying some extra weight on their racing cars, which means that Tron potentially should be able to have a little more straight line speed than those guys and start to catch those guys, especially on these straighter lines. Happy Pappy gets a good charge in behind Tron there, and oh boy, a little bit of contact on Tron in behind there, and Happy's trying to get the position back, and that actually really checks up the field in behind there, and they're going to jockey around for positions there, and that was unfortunate right there for Type R. He was coming in with a head of steam, and he ends up in the back of the pack now due to the accordion effect created there, as Pappy was just trying to give the position back to Tron there after the contact, but there is definitely a time and a place for that, and that was not necessarily the best time for that potential attempt to get back there. But Tron Kobe is definitely frazzled behind the wheel right now, just trying to keep the car safe right now, is what it looks like he's doing. We got Super here in 3rd place. We got Bar 27 in 4th position. We got Doug Burrow here in 5th place, and he's got Tin 10 now in behind him. So these two are working together with Slipstream to try and catch the front of the field here with this added weight, because the added weight just doesn't necessarily allow the car to gain on those straights against these cars that are carrying 0 weight. We got Tron in 7th, we got Pappy in 8th, we got Sheriff in 9th, we got TDC Gaming here in 10th, we got Type R here in 11th. Now TDC is carrying the most weight, and we have seen our Race 1 winners this season really struggle to even keep any kind of race pace in race number 2. So essentially, if you win race number 1, you're kind of already anticipating on finishing in the back of the pack in race number 2, because the car just does not have enough competitiveness in it to compete. And it shows in the overall pace of the drivers from race 1 to race 2 as well. So, again, it's not a perfect system, but it definitely creates some good racing as far as overall standings goes and the championship goes in this series. It's going to be right down to the end of the season, most likely. Alright, Hair Razor's 3.6 seconds up the road here. We got Supra in 2nd place. He's got Dark Cobra really applying some pressure here, and Dark Cobra is not going to have to apply too much pressure for too long here, as Supra is going to go ahead and have to serve a penalty there. But it looks like Dark Cobra had a penalty to serve there as well. However, Dark Cobra pulling off the racing line to serve that penalty, and Supra not pulling off the racing line to serve that penalty. And typically when you're serving a penalty, it is your responsibility as the driver to pull off of the racing line. So that is a boo-boo in my opinion on his part there. Got Doug Burrow here in 5th position. We got Tin 10 here in 6th place. We got Drone Kobe in 7th with Pappy right in behind in 8th place. We got Type R here in 9th. We got TDC up into 10th. And we got Sheriff in 11th here making a pit stop. And oh, he's got some damage on that racing car. So he is most certainly going to get that fixed up. And that is why we see him in pit lane. It's unfortunate because I was probably going to take him off of the charge of this race here. But points are points. And you definitely want to take that checkered flag. So Hair Razor 4 seconds up the road from Supra right now, and Hair Razor is he's got no weight on his car here in race number 2. Supra has a smaller amount of weight compared to some of the drivers, so Hair Razor really is in command of race number 2 here at this point, and it is really kind of his race to lose here. So Doug Burrow and Tin 10 here are kind of battling it out. They made their way around Dark Cobra, and again, good strategy here between the two drivers. They're just working together, using slipstream to continue to push the cars forward at a greater pace, and that's allowing them to maintain pace with the race leaders here. Got Cobra here in 6th position. We've got Trone here in 7th place. We got Pappy in 8th position. We've got TDC in 9th place here. We got Type R in 10th, and we got Sheriff quite a ways off the back of the pack here. So again, it is just getting what he can for points here at this point now in race number 2, and maybe somebody makes a mistake up ahead. Supra here in 2nd place, and Bar 27 very close behind here in 3rd place. Supra is going to go ahead and try to break that toe. Bar is going to follow him, and the other 3 guys did not do that. And in my opinion, I think that's a smarter play, because you're really giving up time by weaving across the racetrack back and forth when you're just holding in a straight line full on the accelerator. You're not giving up a mile an hour or 2 by cranking the wheel to go and hold a slipstream. I think, in my opinion, I think those 3 drivers in the back probably gain more from just staying their line than trying to follow the slipstream train that was going on in front of them. In that particular instance, anyways. TDC here in 8th place, have 2nd penalty. Happy Pappy in 9th. Couldn't be happy to see that. Type R maybe as well should be able to benefit from that penalty. And Sheriff Doofy is moving in a groove, and they're having to get some race damage fixed, and definitely off the pace of the pack here now in race number 2. Hair Razor's 5.2 seconds off the road here, and I mean that's not going to drop down unless he makes a mistake. At this point, he will continue to grow that gap on the drivers in front, because the majority of the drivers battling up front have some form of extra weight added to their cars currently. Supra in 2nd place here, Bar in 3rd, we got Doug in 4th, we got Tin 10 there in 5th, we've got Cobra here in 6th place, and he is right on the backside of Tin 10 here right now as we head into turn number 10. And let's see if he can take advantage of the fact that those guys have some extra weight on their cars again. We got this break in the slipstream again. We just got those 3 guys at the back just holding a straight line there, and it again, just not costing themselves those extra couple mile an hour. It could eventually start to make the difference as we come up the racetrack here. We still have 10 minutes and 20 seconds left on the clock. I'm not sure why the countdown clock isn't up on the screen for everybody here, but that's about where we're at. We got Tron in 7th here. We got Pappy in 8th. Type R in 9th place and behind. We got TDC in trouble around turn number 1 there, and at a dead stop there, just getting that car going back around. But he does have some rear aero damage there on that racing car, and not ideal there for TDC Gaming. 2 drivers struggling here in sprint race number 2 today, and that is going to set both those drivers out of any opportunity potentially grabbing any more position here. It is just a points salvage race for them at this point now. And Bar 27 battling it out with Supra here as we head into the S's, and Bar 27 is going to get it done here. He is going to move up into 2nd place and just give himself a little more breathing room from Doug and Tin 10 and the whole pack in behind here chasing. But this is very tight quarters, very slow, very tight racing here. I think it was Doug there had to serve a penalty. He's going to lose a couple positions there in the process of having to serve that penalty, and he'll settle in 5th place there. But it is Bar 27 here now in 2nd place, leading this train of cars here, and he is going to break the toe, and everybody is going to follow this time. So here we go. We got Doug and Tin 10 again. They just link back up, and they hook up here with those 2 cars, and they're going to again continue to try and close back up on this front group here. as we continue up the racetrack. So Supra took a look there on Bar, and he is going to make his way on the outside here. Cobra is going to stay on what's going to be the inside of turn number 3 here, and Supra potentially looking maybe to lose a position here in this attempt to attack Bar 27, but Cobra given plenty of space there. He's just going to settle back in behind, and oh, Doug and Tintin both right there, having to check up in behind the 2 cars that were moving a little bit slower, and all that hard work there is going to be thrown all away right there with that little mistake made by Doug and Tintin there. And risk versus reward when you're doing the old bump drafting routine, and oh, it's so unfortunate to see that didn't work out, and just a mistake made by both drivers there, having to just slow down a little more than anticipated. That forced the cars back end just to swing around on them a little bit, and when they hit the loud pedal to get going again, it just finished the job, and they both went sideways there. It looked like Doug maybe a little more worse for wear between the 2 drivers there, but Hair Razor 7.4 seconds up the road is Bar 27 here in second, and he is battling it out with Supra and Dark Cobra, but Dark Cobra makes a really big attempt there on a move under slipstream there, and I think there was a slight amount of contact made there between Supra and Cobra just does not continue on trying to take the position, so he's going to settle back in and continue the charge here. Tintin in 5th place, and he does pick up some front aero damage there on his car in that turn 3 incident last time around. Tron Kobe here in 6th place trying to close up the gap, and you can see that gap is dropping. That aero damage is going to slow Tintin down, and Tron Kobe with a clean race car should be able to reel him back in here. Type R in 9th place with TDC in 10th place. He has that rear aero damage still on the back of his car, and he's going to tough it out here, thinking that the gap is probably big enough between him and Sheriff here. He doesn't need to worry about Sheriff, and he may be right. There's 7 minutes left in the race, and the gap is about 14 seconds. So again, tough calls that drivers have to make as things progress on the racetrack, but Hair Razor's just out for a Sunday drive here in race number 2, taking full advantage of being very lightweight and having Bar 27 now chasing him behind is also a lightweight car compared to 6 of our drivers here in race number 2, and he is now very solidly in 2nd place here. He's starting to open that gap up a little bit on Supra. However, that wide exit may cost him a half-second track limit here. As we come through the S's, we'll have to wait and see. They'll hit him with that penalty right about somewhere in here if he's going to get it, and looks like they're going to let him get away with that one. Supra here in 3rd place with Dark Cobra chasing in 4th place, and he is starting to close back in on Supra there. We got Tintin in 5th with Tron Kobe closing in here in 6th place, and that gap is slowly but surely coming down. We got Doug in 7th with Happy Pappy in 8th. We got Type R in 9th. Those 3 are still fairly close together, and then we got TDC 12 seconds back and Sheriff 14 seconds back there in 11th place. Both drivers having in their own mistakes on the racetrack causing damage on their race cars. Sheriff is opted to pit to fix his damage. TDC is toughing it out. We also have Doug and Tintin currently running on track with damage after a mistake out of turn number 3 as well. So Hair Razor is just looking for a nice, good, clean cruise to the checkered flag here with 6.5 minutes remaining. 5.5 minutes remaining. My math is bad. And it's Bar 27 trying to hold down 2nd place there. He almost loses the car coming out of turn number 3 there. He gathers it back up, but that is definitely going to allow Supra and Dark Cobra to get a run here now as we head into turn number 4 and 5 here. This little kink is technically turn 4. This is technically turn 5 right here, I do believe, if I'm not mistaken. And again, a wide exit there as he's still fighting off some dirty tire syndrome there, and Supra gets another good run. So Bar's going to have to go on the defense here. He's going to have to just hold that mid-racing line here and basically ultimately leave it up to Supra to decide whether or not he's going to try and make a move here coming through the S's. So Supra has closed up that gap back up that Bar has worked so hard to open up on Supra, and it is battle back on here for 2nd and 3rd place. Dark Cobra's just off these guys here in 4th place, waiting for this battle to start here so he can try and take advantage as well. But it is Hair Razor going to start lap number 11. Moving and grooving with almost 9 seconds here up in front. Bar 27 has about a half-second gap over Supra here right now. Supra's really relying on that slipstream here to keep up with Bar 27 right now. We got Tintin there in 5th place. We got Tron in 6th position here. We got Doug in 7th place. We got Pappy in 8th. We got Type R here in 9th. We got TDC in the 10th position, and we got Sheriff there in 11th, and he is closing. I mean, he's closed up 3 seconds here over the last couple of minutes, but unfortunately, again, the clock is just not in his favor here today. All right, let's stick with second, third, and fourth place here. And over-under coming from Supra here, and he is going to get a charge on bar 27 there. It is going to be side by side, and they make a little bit of contact there between the two of them. I think that's net coating. I don't think that's actual contact. It looks like there is, but I don't think there really is. And as we head into turn number 4, Supra does have the inside track. Bar is looking to hold the line there, and ooh, forced out a little bit wide there. Supra lost control coming out on the exit there, and bar 27 does a great job of just keeping the car underneath of him here, and he's going to settle in behind Supra here for the time being in third place, but he definitely is right there on top of Supra here as we head through the S's, and Dark Cobra has closed up a little closer to this podium battle here for second and third place. So this is a three-way battle for the podium positions here with about 3 minutes and 15 seconds left on the clock. Going to see 2 more laps here. Maybe 3. Maybe 3. Depends when they come across the line. It's going to be 2. Alright, so here we go. Big old slipstream chain. Let's go take a quick look here. See what we see. Alright. Bar defending coming into turn 1 there. Supra gets a good run through there, but Bar also gets a pretty good exit there. Supra not able to really take advantage, but Cobra from 4th place, they're able to take advantage of a run on both of those drivers, and he is going to get a slingshot engaged. He's going to get ahead of Supra leading into the braking zone. The question is, does Supra now get inside of Dark Cobra into the corner here to get a response? And he does not. He's going to have to settle in behind Dark Cobra here in 3rd place. So Supra now finds himself sitting just off the podium looking in, chasing, and with just a lap and 2/3 to go, we're going to start seeing things, I think, getting a little spicy here between the two, and a little bit of contact there from Cobra on Bar, and a little bit of an accordion effect there from Supra to Cobra, and oh boy, everybody is holding steady here. All right, I thought Bar made a mistake on the exit there as he was eating a little bit of grass, or he almost took out our grass cam right there on the racetrack, and he is still going to stay ahead in 3rd place, or 2nd place here, ahead of Dark Cobra as they head through the S's. Supra's lost a little bit of the charge on these two here, but with 1 lap to go, it is far, far from over. So as Hair Razor's coming around here, this is the final corner. He's going to go ahead and start the final lap of our race here. He may get a victory lap, depending on when he comes back around here. Bar 27, Cobra, and Supra here, though, battling out for those final 2 podium positions here. And it's going to be Bar in 2nd, Cobra in 3rd, and Supra in 4th place as we start the final lap for these 3 drivers. Let's stick with it. Bar 27 takes turn 1 nice and tidy. He keeps that charge ahead of Dark Cobra. Dark Cobra keeps the exit on Supra, but unfortunately there for Supra, the 1 second penalty is going to end his charge for podium here on this lap. This has become a race for 2nd place here between Dark Cobra and Bar 27, and I think there was a little bit of lag right there. I'm not sure what that was right there, but Supra's going to get a charge on Bar 27 here and maybe potentially get around. Dark Cobra is going to take 2nd place. Supra's going to move up into 3rd. Bar is going to move down into 4th place, but again, Supra carrying the 1 second penalty here is not in the ideal position here right now. He is going to lose that position back to Bar 27, barring Bar doesn't make any mistake in the next couple of corners here as we head through the Schumacher S's. It is Dark Cobra here, though, holding it strong in 2nd place, and we're going to see Bar 27 zoom right past Superboy here as he heads up the S's. That 1 second penalty is going to give Supra absolutely zero chance at defending against Bar here, and as we come across the penalty serving zone, Bar 27 is going to easily get that position on Supra. A half-second penalty might have changed things slightly, but that penalty there was going to be the end of it for Supra, and his podium charge here in race number 2 is going to be Dark Cobra here with a 2nd place finish, and Bar 27 in 3rd place, with Supra just falling out the podium here in 4th place in race number 2. And what a battle between 2nd, 3rd, and 4th place there here in the race today. It's going to be Tintin in 5th place. It's going to be Trone coming across in 6th. It's going to be Doug in 7th place. Happy Pappy's going to bring it home here in 8th position. Type R here is going to come across in 9th place. We got TDC Gaming, our race 1 winner, having a rough go here in race number 2. He's going to bring it home here in 10th place, and he does just enough there to hold off Sheriff Doofy from closing in as well. Sheriff is going to bring it home here around turn number 10 in 11th place. He had that early race incident, had to pit and fix damage, and ultimately put him out of any chance of the race here today. But he still gets points because he went and finished that race, and that's the important thing. Every point counts when you're in a championship. but it is round 2 race winner on his victory lap around Red Bull Ring here. A very large win here from Hair Razor, 6.7 seconds over the good here in the field, plus the victory lap. One final corner here for our race 2 winner, Team Rad's Hair Razor. Congratulations to him. That was a great run there in race number 2. He got away clean and absolutely utilized the advantage of having a very light race car and didn't look back. So great job there by Hair Razor to finish off race number 2 here. And the fastest lap goes to 10/10 Dark Cobra with a 1:30.499. Race win goes to Team Rad's Hair Razor. Cobra in second and Bar 27 in third place. Super finishes in fourth with 1010 in fifth place. Trone Kobe finishing in sixth. Doug Burrow in seventh and Happy Pappy in eighth place. Type R will finish in ninth. TDC Gaming in 10th and Sheriff Doofy will finish in 11th place here in race number 2. That was a great job here by our Red Bull Junior racers, and I know that normally we do podium interviews during this point of the race here at GT45 Gaming, but due to operational factors of our streaming PC right now, Discord really seems to create some complication for the stream right now. So we have negated to be doing podium interviews, especially in the Red Bull season, due to that factor on my end of things. Of course, when Nolander is broadcasting, he does do the podium interviews for the drivers to talk. So we have something coming to fix all of that kind of problem in the future here at GT45 Gaming. We're going to dabble our toes into something a little bit different here on the page for Sunday mornings, and that's going to be the kind of what we're going to use to talk to race winners throughout the week, talk to race representatives, team representatives, league organizers, just random racers. We're just going to sit down, have a morning coffee together, and just chit-chat about GT7 and the sim racing community really as general. So that's something that we're working on here for the future, and I think we're going to probably use that more to do our interviews with our racers and stuff like that. So just spitballing ideas, that's the way it goes, but absolutely great racing here from the GTRC. I mean, the 30-minute race had a great battle for the overall race win through the whole 30-minute race. Great pitch strategy, allowing for Team Rad's the Damn Cat, TDC Gaming, to come in with a very strong race win, his first of the season. A tougher race too there for him, but great performances by Hair Razor there in race 2 as well. Again, with a no weight on the car, really taking advantage of his advantage in the race and absolutely just dominating race number 2. But a good run from Dark Cobra and Bar 27 in race number 2 for their podiums, and also a great run from Doug Burrow and Tin 10 in race number 1 to also get their podium finishes in race number 1. So some spicy racing coming here from the Gran Turismo racing community, Red Bull Juniors Championship, and we'll see these cars and these racers back out on track in 2 weekends time. Next weekend will be our GT3 Championship. Our Pro and Pro-Am divisions will be back on track in that manufacturer-style championship designed and developed by the Gran Turismo racing community. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you to those that are tuning in after the live stream and came to check out to see what kind of fun that the drivers were having here today. We appreciate all that support. Thank you for the likes, the shares, and the follows on the pages as well. Much love to the Gran Turismo racing community, their staff, and their volunteers behind the scenes for putting on these great racing events. Appreciate Mr. WPR Hot Laps coming in here and enjoying the show today. Legend himself, he does weekly time trials here on Gran Turismo 7. He runs it through a Facebook Messenger group. We can get that information for our community here in our Discord servers as well. There is, I think, like 200 racers that take part in this time trial event every week. It's a daily race time trialing deal, and a year-long points table attached to it as well. So it's a great little event. I take part of it quietly and behind the scenes, and always welcoming more. So for more information, we'll post that up in the Discord servers for everybody, and get involved in the fun. Come put yourself up against 200 of our own community members and see where you stack up in these daily race time trials. Thank you on behalf of the Gran Turismo Racing community. I'm your host for the day at GT45 Gaming. We'll be back next weekend with our GT3 Manufacturers Championship live right here at the GTRC. We appreciate y'all. We hope you all enjoyed the great race displayed here today at Red Bull Ring in Austria. Stay winning. Remember, you all matter. And we'll catch you tomorrow night for a little bit of racing fun with Race Asylum here at GT45 Gaming. Ciao for now. Appreciate y'all.